President Trump signed an executive order calling for a Golden Dome for America on January 27th, but a gag order has precluded virtually any discussion. Tom, what is the rationale of the gag order?
This is a presidential executive order. We are now 10 months into it, and so what we might expect a little bit more progress to have been made. The Secretary of Defense installed General Mike Gutlein as what's called the Direct Reporting Program Manager to kind of, no kidding, spearhead this thing and move things along. The challenge has been that there's been, as you said, a gag order and kind of restriction as the Pentagon kind of, no kidding, decides what is Golden Dome, what is the architecture, what's it going to be about. And so I think there's kind of been an understandable amount of caution, but frankly, an excess of caution. And that's had some, I would say, some chilling effects and some secondary bad effects in terms of the ability to move out at speed, at the speed of relevance, to execute the president's executive order.
What are the consequences of keeping Congress, the defense industry, and the American public in the dark?
Yeah, so those really are kind of the three key audiences here. First of all, Congress, members, professional staff, they need to understand what is really intended here, even just in broad outlines, in terms of the strategic concept, in terms of the amount of money that needs to be authorized and appropriated, the trades that may need to be made within the defense budget to make sure that first of all, everything is going to be able to fit together and work together, and again, look at what choices have to be made in terms of what we might not be able to do, for instance. So first and foremost, Congress needs to understand what's going on. As of right now, almost 10 months into it, members still haven't been briefed, and that's a problem. To not just build hardware and build missiles and build radars, but also to build consensus. There's very much a policy angle to this, to changing our orientation from the rogues, from North Korea and Iran, to, no kidding, focus on defending the homeland against, let's just say, limited but very calculated strikes by Russia and China. So Congress needs to understand they need to be on board for this to be durable and sustainable. The second one is industry. They have been kind of told you need to be ready to go to do all this sort of stuff, but they don't know what they're going to be doing just yet. And so that, again, is also kind of contributing to some inertia and to some slack in the system. And they need to be communicated and briefed up to the extent that they are able to be, so that they can kind of move out. And then finally, there's everybody else. There's, yes, as you say, the American public needs, in a general sense at least, to understand the concept. There's also our allies and partners that we may be wanting to cooperate with on Golden Dome. And then frankly, there's our adversaries. There's a public diplomacy, there's a strategic messaging component here. Russia and China are already trying to define the narrative about what Golden Dome is or isn't. And that probably, it wouldn't hurt to both release a little bit of information to impose costs on them, to communicate credibility, and also to combat the narratives that they're putting out.
President Trump signed an executive order calling for a Golden Dome for America on January 27th.